it is one of my biggest projects. Come see. She's so pretty.
I have no idea what I'm doing.
Wow, très élégant.
Non, là, pas trop.
Bonjour! Today I'm going to be a princess. La 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 la. So I've been invited to Japan Expo in Paris. I'm going to judge a contest. And I thought, what am I going to wear? I have nothing to wear. Nothing! Okay, just kidding. This has been my obsession for the last 10 years, okay? But what am I going to wear up to the standards that I can judge other people? And I remembered the words of this modern-day philosopher.
I love you all, you're beautiful, and never forget that everyone is a princess.
What an icon. Also, this is kind of my biggest flex on Instagram that Paris Hilton commented on one of my pictures. Anyways, I'm thinking princess, and since my name is Ariel, that's my actual legal name, I might have already made a Ariel princess dress. And it is one of my biggest projects. Come see. Here. Come here, you. Shiny. We also need this, a petticoat. Let's get the shiny one. Maybe one more. Let's get them all. A bump pad. I think this is this one. Maybe this. Or this one. Let's get them all. Of course, I think this one. This is it. Maybe we can dress up the mannequin over there. I might need to push the furniture because this dress very big. Okay, come here, you. Ta-da! Okay, so several things. First of all, she's so pretty. Finally, I can wear it in public. But she is heavy. The skirt really weighs a ton, and the petticoat that I made for it, I like that it is a shiny fabric, but with the side of it, it ends up really heavy for what it is, and it's not even visible. So, ow. And what it ends up doing is squishing the dress from the sides, because the front part is quite lighter, so it doesn't press evenly. So what I'm planning is replacing the big petticoat with this one, but it is a bit shorter. So I'm going to use this fabric, which I have a ton of. It's not super quality fabric, but it's there. It is organza, it's very lightweight. So I'm going to turn it into a lot of ruffles. It should provide a lot of support for the bottom of the dress. I'm going to sew it on this layer, and it should make the dress sit nicely over the crinoline. You see the dress is not sitting really nicely. It would be better if it just had a little bit more support over there. Also, there are a few threads hanging here and there. I never completely finished it. And on the back, I admit that I had planned on wearing it with a corset that is a little bit too tight because, you know, I want it to be very snatched, but let's be honest, it's not super healthy. And for a whole day at a convention, I think I'm going to want a little bit more comfort. So I'm going to add a panel underneath so you don't see like the underwear under this bodice, and I will be a little bit more comfortable and have room for eating, which is always nice. What else? I have a wig. I made this dress when I was blonde. It's fine, it's a wig, but now, I'm not a big fan of wigs, especially if they are like quite just boring, long hair. If I can avoid wearing them, I will. I am most excited about the accessories, but I think I have to finish the dress first before I start on it, because otherwise I might get a little bit of corner because the convention is this weekend. Let's go!
Like a fish on land.
While we work on this beauty, let me tell you how I made it. This was before I made YouTube videos, so I don't have a lot of videos, but I was in my Instagram era, so I have plenty of pictures. My first idea was to make an armor. I wanted to make a warrior Ariel, ready for the battle of the seven seas. I think this was a cool concept, and maybe one day it will happen. But I got this in a Kinder Surprise, and I decided that it was fate. With the materials I found, I thought a ball gown would be more fitting, and probably more wearable. I made an underbust corset out of an old mock-up. I thought it was a good way to recycle it, but the fit is not perfect, and it is a little bit painful, but I was lazy on that part. I spent so much time trying to make a crinoline that works and that had the right shape, pinning all the bones and all the ribbons. Maybe, I don't know, 50 times, because the shape was never right. It was so unnecessarily tedious, and I should have just bought a pattern or copied the measurements from someone else. I'm pretty proud of it, but I would not do that again, and I don't recommend that you do. Just get a pattern. I made a mock-up for a nice petticoat out of old curtains, and then stupidly decided to change the fabric into something that was sparkly, but it is way too heavy. It does look good. I mean, the silhouette for this gown is really important. You need very good foundation garments. So it is important to spend time on this foundation if you want to have a dress that looks good. But still, it is kind of frustrating that this will not be visible. And it is so heavy. Choose a lightweight fabric if you need a big petticoat. Finally, we can touch the fashion fabrics. The base of the skirt is a purple synthetic lace at the front with some ruffles, of course. White cotton that will be completely covered with scales, and another ruffle with the green fabric that has this very interesting texture that reminds me of fish. Then the bodice pieces. I couldn't get the exact color that I wanted, so I ended up making a sandwich of 3 layers. A green shiny base, a blue sequence, and another green organza on top. I like to have organza on top of sequins because it will protect them from rubbing on each other and getting caught on basically everything. And that is a base that is waiting for a ton of decoration. My main decoration is this cheap but very pretty fabric. When I found it, I thought it was the most fitting project for it. I made about 60 big scales like this. They are 3 layers each, pleated on top. And combining different types of fabric with the different layers, the transparency and the lining, it made a nice variation of hues, and I think it makes it look more interesting. And also I didn't have enough fabric to make all the scales with just one fabric. And that's where I got the idea to use scraps of fabric for scales, if you know what I mean. Yes, I promise I will give you some updates for the Mugler project after the summer, because there are some big stuff coming. My favorite part of this project was burning it. Like I did on other projects, I used a soldering iron on the synthetic organza. This allowed me to melt the fabric and turn it into some kind of lace that is also kind of a coral. It is so nice and easy and fast, and I could turn it into any design that I wanted to fit the project. I loved it so much that I did it also in the green. It gives off coral, but it also gives off kind of sea foam if you make it into the petals of the dress. If you want to try it, I highly recommend it, but please wear some protection, because the fume of this are like melted plastic and it is very toxic for your lungs. So please wear protection. I'm not joking. This is very dangerous. I also cut more of the lace and added it into places where it was neat and very aesthetic looking, mostly to hide the sharp edges and blend all the materials together. It really made a difference into the general silhouette of the dress. Then more really fun and exciting stuff with the rhinestones and the seashells. I had hoarded those rhinestones for a while. I had a bunch of blue and turquoise and whites. I think they match really well the fabric. But I also had a bag of seashells from the thrift store. I know they were really hyped in the 80s for home decoration, but I had a whole bunch of them. Some were really nice looking, but I ended up painting them into green and adding some powdered glitter on top of it. They were standing out too much, and I think with this, the whole dress is more cohesive and very interesting to look at with lots of tiny details.
But seashells are very heavy. So after, I don't know, 5,000-6,000 rhinestones plus the seashell, the skirt is really heavy. But it is so sparkly and beautiful. I really had a blast embellishing this thing until I ran out of E6000 glue. But back to the present and the finishing touches. And I'm adding little weights at the front of the crinoline to balance the weight of the skirts on the back. Yes, it is adding a little bit more weight, but it is necessary.
I really like that it shimmers. It's kind of reminding me of the water, kind of. Do you see it? Yeah, we'll say this was the plan all along. So I have like 20 meters of hem to do. I'm not going to do a roll hem on this fabric, which would be super annoying and super long and almost invisible, so I'm just going to use the serger. I think I have an idea. If I use different colors for the thread, maybe I can kind of match the color and the shimmer and pretend it is kind of shining and on purpose. We can try that. It worked really well, look! Okay, let's talk shoes. I will not be wearing heels because I'm running around all day in the convention and there's no way I'm going to be uncomfortable. My very well-loved buffalo shoes that were white at some point and they are getting very old and damaged. I have washed them already several times, but now the gray is not coming off. The material is damaged in many places, so it will not go back to white anymore. I freaking love these shoes, so I think I can extend their life a little bit more. I want to try to make them pretty a little bit longer by dyeing them a darker color. So why not try to match them to my dress? Ritz dye, the synthetic one, so it should work on all these different materials and synthetic materials. Gloves, and I have my dye pot, but so hopefully I'm going to boil some water and it's going to work in this box. Hopefully. I've never dyed sneakers, so we'll see how it goes. Maybe I will give them a little wash first.
Oh merde! The color is taking instantly, which is so satisfying. However, we might see how it lasts. Maybe I will just leave it soak a bit longer. But this is very pleasant to do. Yes, I did burn my hands. I'm suddenly remembering that I have a container that matched better for this project, at least so I can have the shoes submerged for a few hours. But they float, so I had to get some bricks and stones just to keep them at the bottom of the container. But it worked really well. And now we have blue bricks. Very useful. We can rinse them many times and leave them to dry to see what the final color is. Back to the skirt. I cut some strips of the organza, hemmed them with the serger. Iron all of this, of course. There is about 20 meters of hem, so that took a while, but that's okay because I realized I have emotional support over there. I'm sewing 2 lines of stitching at the center of those strips. These will be used as gathering stitches. Just pull the 2 top threads, just very carefully, you don't want to break them, and we have a nice ruffle. And that makes a very easy 80s dress. And I can attach all those ruffles to the big skirt. Sorry, I have to destroy your house. The ruffle is pinned on the inside layer of the skirt and I can try to decorate it a little bit more using violence. I made holes using my favorite technique. Even though it's really fun and very toxic, I'm realizing that this fabric doesn't fray at all, so good old scissors will work just fine. I think it adds a little bit more detail and texture, and also you can see the shine of the fabric underneath poking out a little bit. Then I realized that the purple, I don't really like it at the front, so I just shred it. I don't know. just feeling the vibe. I'm tired, I have no plans, I'm just running on instinct and caffeine. Will this be a mistake? Well, I don't know, I'm just having fun. If you follow my channel, you know I have a slight tendency to destroy my projects because when I finish them, I want them to turn into something new. At least this time it's just contained at the bottom of the dress. I found some pieces of purple organza in my stash, so I'm just adding shreds at the front. It adds more details and it ties in the vibe of I'm coming out from the sea. I'm a princess of the ocean. It is chaos. Update on the shoes.
Ta-da! They dried much lighter, but I think it matched the dress very well. I mean, that is the color of the bottle. It did not take the dye very evenly, which I like. I think it makes some very interesting effects. Here, even on the front. So if you attempt to dye some shoes, I don't know exactly what advice to give you to make it perfect, but if you like this effect, it works really well and it wasn't really that hard. I like them much better now than the dirty white. But I'm going to add a little bit of decoration still, because I have these from I don't know when, a long time ago. This is going to look nice. Okay. Ignore my hair, I put some product in because I have to dye it tonight. I'm just a bit in a rush, I'm leaving tomorrow. But skirt is done, I added some bars here so I have more space for food. Before I fix the top, I'm thinking about handbags. And of course, I have the perfect handbags. I got them from Japan. This part works, it fits with the fish vibe, but I'm thinking of doing something maybe a little bit more fancy to match the ball gown. I have some gold hardware, so maybe if I just... Voila! Fancy! This is the lacing at the back. We want a panel that is smaller than the eyelets, and I'm going to sew it on the inside behind the ribbon.
In French, this is called un panneau de modestie. In fact, I haven't been to a hairdresser for the last 10 years. And it was very obvious when I tried to make the wig for the dress. I started off with 2 cheap wigs. I removed the weft from one and sewed it to the other, so it was longer and fuller and had a bit more interesting shades because they were not the same color. Then I tried to curl it using some rolls that are in French called a bigoudi. Just poured boiling water on this very disturbing scepter. I wanted some kind of Hollywood glamour, so I thought maybe this is too curly or not enough, I don't know. So I did this. Honestly, I love it. But I still thought I would figure out the Hollywood thing and started over. And the result was barely different from the wig, just from the package. But I don't really like wigs, so I just left it like this. That might be the main reason why I didn't wear this dress. I hate the wig. But now that I can use my own hair, I'm trying to remove a little bit of this color, which is slightly too dark. I want it bright red. A little bit of spoiler, it didn't work. I mean, this is slightly lighter, so maybe if I add some more red, it will be more bright. I'm using this brand, which was easy to use, but I don't know if I did it wrong, but it didn't add much color and it just came off right away. I am slightly more red, but honestly now, after just one shampoo, it just came off almost completely. I will try another brand another time. But it is late and I have to go to Paris. Sometimes I miss living in Paris, but when I go there, I remember that I hate it. And this time with the Olympics, oh la la, awful. But fortunately I'm only there for a few days, but ah!
Attention à la marche en descendant du train.
Japan Expo Paris is huge! There is a lot to do there, but I was there for the costumes and for the people. Your favorite hammer girl, Aliota, was there, embellishing my shoes even more. Yes, as you can see, I immediately lost the starfishes on my shoes. Having them just with the little clip was just a dumb idea. I got to meet lovely people and actual viewers came to me, which is so cool, and I got to slap a few people with my fish, which is an experience. Of course, I had fun and forgot to film a lot of videos of myself in the dress. So the best you will get will have a lot of furries and latex. And they were lovely. Next was the cosplay competition. The stage for the ECG is huge! There was, I don't know, 10,000, 15,000 people in this room. With such a cool light show, this is one of the best cosplay shows that I've ever seen. A lot of different ideas, a lot of different people on stage. That really was a great show. The amount of creativity and passion that was on stage. It is just so heartwarming to see them just going on stage in front of all these people, performing something so cool. I mean, incredible. Okay, today I'm gonna be a crayon, and I kind of messed up my makeup, but gives the crayon graphite idea. Do I go out in public like this? Let's try the mascara. Today I'm in charge of judging the contest. It was very cool to see people's work up close, talking to them about their work. That stage is very big, they are very brave. Coucou les jurys! Coucou!
Non, c'est vrai qu'on a vu des choses super ce matin.
The best part of being a judge, you get the best view of the show. There was a party at night, and it was very nice to hang and chat with lovely people.
17 ans de cosplay. C'est des bébés, elles sont toutes mignonnes.
But it is time to go home because the Olympic Games are starting and you need to get away from the city. That was nice. Please subscribe. Bisous.